Well, with all the high-flying dunks and deep three-pointers Creighton provides its fans, there's been one man who's had a front-row seat for all of it for more than half a century. Tom Jelinek joined us earlier in the week to discuss his favorite times from all the Jays games he's taken in over the years. Before the Jays let it fly on the court, they make sure they greet the fourth person donning the black and white stripes.
Nemhart, he started that last year, so he did, and now some of the others, Trey Alexander. Actually, way back when, Nate Funk started doing that. So, yeah, it's been around a while.
Tom Jelinek is in his 52nd season helping Creighton basketball.
Very understanding.
The 71-year-old has been CU's official scorer for nearly 40 years. During that time, Jelinek has seen several Hall of Fame coaches and players pass him by at center court.
Some Creighton coaches and some opposing coaches, they're really intense. And you can hear some words that probably can't be repeated, in this interview.
He's also had an up-close view for some of the greatest Creighton games in program history.
And Eddie Sutton was here as coach. Creighton beat Houston, the Phi Slamma Jamma team, on a last-second shot. Box score and the play-by-play when it was typed by hand. 1978 Missouri Valley Conference championship when they played Larry Bird.
Jelinek also scores the women's games for the Jays.
The women, I've always felt, is a little more pure basketball. They aren't dunking the ball and things like that. The four quarters really makes a difference. And this year's team is going to be a real high-scoring team, I think. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. This was back in '91.
The Creighton Prep alum always makes sure he keeps scoring pencil as opposed to pen, and has definitely seen some changes in his time at the table.
First of all, you didn't have a shot clock back then and things like that. But, in the three, you got to watch whether it's a 2 or 3, and if they're not quite sure, they'll give you a signal to circle that time in the book so they know when to go back.
While Jelinek isn't sure how long he'll continue to keep score for CU, his goal is to make it at least until the NCAA tournament returns to Omaha in 2024.
I kind of joke and I say I'll do it until I get it right, which is job security.
And when it comes to the Creighton-Nebraska rivalry, there's always those fans who don their red in the fall for Husker football, only to switch it to blue in the winter for Blue Jays basketball. And while we're not here to judge, Jayskers are definitely around to be found in the area. Mary Nelson joining us now with more.
It is a privilege to be here on this topic. We are not here to judge, as Adam mentioned, but at our house, there is no shame. My husband and I are the exact definition of Jayskers, and so many of our friends are too. Countless of them will don this during Nebraska football season. They have season tickets at Memorial Stadium. And then, come basketball season, we put on that Creighton blue. And there is some ribbing naturally that goes along with the title from friends who are absolute purists, but that's okay because us Jayskers are here to stay. And that's this fan's take. We wanted to hear from others.
Are you a Jaysker?
Yeah, I am. I love Husker football, but obviously Creighton basketball is way better.
Are you a Jaysker?
Yes.
Well, I can see how some people are 100% Huskers, 100% Jays, but when you have connections to both, I don't know how you do that, honestly.
What is your opinion on a Jaysker?
You know what? As long as, because I go to Creighton, so as long as you, root for your team, the college you go to, but then, when it's not, intertwined, then it doesn't matter.
Nothing against those that just are the Huskers and those that are just for Creighton, but I've had connections at both.
I think it's a good thing because obviously at Creighton we don't play football, so I think I like it. Yeah, it's cool. I always go to the Husker games.
Just an individual that likes both, the Huskers and the Creighton Blue Jays. So.
All right, Mary, I have to ask you, who will you be rooting for on Sunday?
It always comes down to the shape of the ball. For me and my husband, if it's round, we're going to be wearing blue. That is what being a Jaysker is all about.
That's right, I guess. When we come back on the Creighton Full Court Press, we present a very special segment that Barry Law has put on this season at CU home games. We'll bring you that story after the break.